Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will discuss on loop, for loop, while loop, break statement and pass statement. A loop is a magical command that tells the computer to do something over and over again without having to write the same thing many times. Loops make coding more fun and efficient because you don't have to repeat the same instructions again and again. This is the pictorial representation of a loop. If a condition is met, the control flows to a piece of code to be executed. Again, the control flows back to check the condition and this repeats. For loop. For loop is used to iterate over a sequence, that is list, tuple, string, etc. Here is the syntax for loop. For variable in iterable colon code to be executed in each iteration will come here. Remember, for and in will be in lowercase. Let us look into example for better understanding. I have declared a list with three elements. For fruit in fruits colon print fruit. Note, I have not used any increment operation. That means it automatically increments by 1. And also note, in the first iteration, fruit variable is assigned with the first element of my list, that is apple. Therefore, I am printing fruit, apple is printed. Now in the second iteration, fruit will be assigned with the element orange. Orange will get printed. In the third iteration, cherry gets printed. Done. Using range function. Why range function? Because say for example, when I want to increment by 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., that time I have to use range function. Therefore, for I in range, remember range function syntax? Start, stop and step. Now, start at 1, end at 10 and increment by 2 is the meaning of this line. Done. Now, print I. Therefore, in the first iteration, for I in range, first value is 1. 1 will get printed. Now increment by 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 should get printed. In the third iteration, 3 plus 2, 5 should get printed. In the fourth iteration, 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 will get printed. In the fifth iteration, 7 plus 2, increment by 2. Therefore, 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 will get printed. Whereas in the sixth iteration, 9 plus 2 is 11. But 11 can't be printed because my stop range is 10. Now for loop with tuple. This example is almost similar to list example. Kindly go through this example. Now for loop with dictionary. I have taken a dictionary. Remember dictionary syntax? This is key and value separated by a colon. I have 4 key and values here and my dictionary name is numbers. Now for variable x in numbers colon print what? X comma colon comma numbers of x. This means the value of my key should get printed. In the first iteration, key will be 10 and value assigned to my key 10 is ten. Therefore, ten will get printed. Now, in second iteration, 20 will get printed. Third iteration, 30 and fourth iteration, 40 will get printed. This is how for loop works using dictionary. Hope it's clear. Next. Next, have a look at while loop. A while loop is used to repeatedly execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. Done. Here is the syntax. While condition to be met colon body of while loop. Example, program to display numbers from 1 to 5. I am initializing a variable I and n to 1 and 5 respectively. Now here is the while loop logic. While in small letter I less than or equal to n colon print I and increment I plus 1. Note I have used increment operation in while loop. Now in the first iteration 1 is less than or equal to 5. Therefore I have to print 1. Now increment it by 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 is again less than or equal to 5. Therefore 2 should also get printed. Now increment 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Now in the third iteration 3 is less than or equal to 5. Therefore print 3. Now increment again 3. 3 should be incremented by 1. Therefore 4. 4 is less than or equal to 5. Print 4. Now 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. Correct. Therefore print 5. Here the execution stops because now increment 5 by 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 is not less than or equal to 5. Therefore, the condition fails and this will be my output. Now, use a for loop when you know the number of iterations. That is, when you want to iterate over a sequence, list, tuple, string, that time use for loop. Whereas, when you want to repeat a block of code until a specific condition is met, that time you can use while loop. Now, another example for while loop. I have taken a variable counter and initialized it with value 0. Now, while counter less than 3 is my condition, colon, print inside loop and increment counter, else loop I am printing inside else. Counter is 0. 0 is obviously less than 3. True. Therefore, I have to print inside loop. Now, 0 should be incremented by 1. So, 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 is less than 3. Condition is satisfied. Therefore, print inside loop. Now, in the third iteration, that is after incrementing 1 by 1, it becomes 2. 2 is again less than 3. Now, again, third time the iteration, inside loop will get printed. Now, for the fourth iteration, 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 is not less than 3. Therefore, it comes out of this block and enters else condition, wherein it prints inside else in my fourth iteration. Therefore, this is the output. Break statement. With break statement, we can stop the loop before it has looped through all the items. Example, for loop, this is a variable called letter in. Python is a string I have used, colon, if letter equal to h. Remember this equal to, this is conditional operator equals, correct? First iteration, what is happening? For letter in Python, so p is not equal to h, therefore it will print as p. Done. Now, in the second iteration, y is also not satisfying this condition. Therefore, I can't break. I should print the letter. Now, in the third iteration, t is also not equal to h, and I'll print t. Now, my fourth iteration, correct? So, h equal to h. True, this condition is satisfied. It breaks and comes out of the loop. Break statement is used for stopping the loop before it has looped through all the characters in a string in this example. Here is another example. Repeatedly asking a user for input until a valid response is given. Now, in the second line, I've used while true as my condition, colon, user input is a variable, enter yes or no. Done. Now, if user input this variable dot lower note, dot lower function will convert a string entered by a user to lower case. Therefore, I am using user underscore input dot lower in. Within a list I have given yes comma no. If this is the case, break it. Else print invalid input. Please enter yes or no. Just have a look at my output. Enter yes or no is asked. User has entered y, which is invalid input because it is not yes or no. Therefore, it will go to else part and print invalid input. Again, when a user is asked to enter yes or no, the user enters n, which is invalid input. Therefore, for the third iteration, the user has entered it correctly, no. Therefore, it breaks and exits the loop. Also make a note, as mentioned earlier, dot lower function is used for converting uppercase characters to lowercase. Therefore, the capital letter yes entered by a user is converted to lowercase and therefore breaks and comes out of the loop. Pass statement. In Python, it is a null operation. That means nothing happens when you execute it. Pass statement is used as a placeholder for future code. Pass statement is used when a statement is required syntactically, but you do not want any code to execute. Let us have a look at a small example for better understanding. I value ranges from 1 to 5. If I equal to 3, in the first iteration, I value is 1. 1 is not equal to 3, correct? Therefore, else part should get executed. Now, in the second iteration, I will get incremented by 1. Therefore, 2. 2 is again not equal to 3, correct? Conditional operation 2 is not equal to 3. Therefore, this will not execute and else part will get executed. Now in the third iteration, 2 plus 1, 3. 3 is equal to 3. Therefore, I get found 3 as my output. You can note that when pass statement is executed, nothing gets printed. Therefore, it was a null operation. Done. Hope it's clear. Let us have a quick look at switch case statement. As mentioned earlier, match case statement was used in Python version 3.10, but after then, the latest versions do not support match case statement. Therefore, we have switch case statement which is supported for dictionaries. Okay. Now, I have defined three functions: def case 1, def case 2 and def default case. These are my three functions. Note, def keyword is used for defining a function. This is my first function, case 1, which defines a function that prints executing case 1. Case 2 defines a function that prints executing case 2. Default function will define executing default case. There is a dictionary wherein I have used keys case 1 and case 2 and the respective values are capital case 1 and case 2. My dictionary name is switch underscore dict. Within curly braces, dictionary should be defined. Now, I have taken a variable called expression. Case 2 is the key assigned for the variable expression. If else statement. If this condition is satisfied, call a function switch underscore dict of expression. Else, default function will be called. This function will be called. Here, the key case 2 is matching with the dictionary key. Therefore, I am getting the output as executing case 2. This function is getting executed. If case 2 is replaced by case 1, executing case 1 will be the. I have also mentioned the same points here. Kindly go through this. Thank you for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe.